Hello, IoTeX community. We have another series of our Meet the Delegate series, and today we have IoT Explorer. Do you want to introduce yourself, your delegate, and some of your goals as a delegate?
Hi, Larry. Sure. Yeah, thanks for having me. So IoT Explorer is made by myself, Jason James. Many in the community might already know me by the name of Kits or Cryptweeter. Um, so we're kind of a delegate that's really focused on adding value to the IoTeX network. Um, I've been a part of the IoTeX community since pretty much day one. I didn't take part in the private sale, but I definitely would have if I was able to. But since then, I've been part of the brand ambassador um, cohort from when it was first initiated, and I've just always been in the community, answering questions, helping out, and working with the team as much as I can.
That's great. So tell us more about IoT Explorer and a little bit more about yourself as well.
So about myself, I'm a chemical engineer by trade for my undergraduate degree. I worked in oil and gas and the energy industry for a little while, and then uh, I guess mid 2017 when I got into cryptocurrencies, I sort of kind of got captivated by blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, and now I've sort of switched roles really, gone into more of a computer science, working on transitioning into that as we speak. As far as IoT Explorer, it's really at the moment it's just me who's been working on the website, which we'll get into a bit more later. But eventually, I really want to turn it into an open source kind of group uh, rooted in the IoTeX community, similar to how City of Zion was for Neo in the early days. I really want to make it something where developers can come together and build out different systems, different dApps, different things to kind of further the IoTeX community and the ecosystem.
That's great. So you mentioned you got your start in blockchain in 2017. Can you tell us more about your journey in the blockchain world and how you ultimately came about IoTeX?
Yeah, sure. So I initially heard about blockchain technology while I was working for a company called Eon. They're one of the largest renewable energy companies in the world. We came across Ethereum, and through that, I started investing in Ethereum, and then quite quickly got onto altcoins. My first one was Ant Shares, which is the name of Neo before it was rebranded. So I was part of that community, which is why I'm quite familiar with how their open source community kind of grew and expanded, and how I kind of want to replicate that model uh, with IoT Explorer. Um, Through that, I just kind of got involved into the research and the development of similar projects. And I always try to be part of the core community and try to develop the community because I think that's always the most important thing for cryptocurrencies, especially early on. And then IoTeX I came across, can't remember exactly when, probably 2018. Um, that was just through somebody recommending it to me on my Twitter. I have quite a good Twitter community, good following. Sometimes people DM me to check out these projects. IoTeX was one I checked out, did all my research, read the white paper, looked into the backgrounds of the engineers, of the business people, and kind of just instantly knew that it was a project that I wanted to be a part of in a very big way.
That's great. And you've already had a lot of progress in the IoTeX community, first as an ambassador and now as a delegate. Can you first share with us some things that you've done as an IoTeX ambassador?
Yeah, sure. So initially, the first things I was doing as an ambassador were more on the marketing and awareness side. So, as I mentioned, I have my Twitter account where I can have quite a large reach for my audience, and also I'm quite active on Reddit, so I'm able to get IoTeX out on the Reddit channels as well as the Twitter channels and on my Medium blog. So the very first introduction for a lot of people to IoTeX was my article entitled "Finding Honey in a Bear Market," and that was all about why I'm backing IoTeX, why it stood out to me so much in what was at the time and still is a saturated market. But I did sort of a deep dive there, introduced that, and that article has tens of thousands of views at the moment. still being viewed regularly. I get emails about reviews going up and things like that. So it was more along that nature. I also started a writers program for the brand ambassadors. So I have other people who have their own blogs, and I connected them with the marketing team and just tried to get more coverage worldwide about IoTeX in the different communities, be it Vietnam, Korea, the UK, and so on.
Yeah, it's really been beneficial what you've been able to add to the community so far. And now you're taking the next step to become a delegate. So can you explain to us why you're taking this step and becoming a delegate?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, as I mentioned, I really wanted to be a part of the core IoTeX community. And so I think the best way to do that is to become a delegate, be hands-on in securing and ensuring the security of the network. Um, and I think as well as that, I get the privilege of having the community vote for me. Um, and I get to be rewarded for that. And then I can put those rewards back into ecosystem development. So when I want to say, at the moment, I'm building IoT Explorer, which is a block explorer. Um, that takes a lot of resources to build out. It takes a lot of time. And so becoming a delegate allows me to use the rewards that I'd get to, instead of uh, undergoing things for my primary profession, I can now solely focus on developing the block explorer, building out different ecosystem tools and things of that nature.
Great. Yeah, tell us more about your website and the block explorer that you're building.
Right, so yeah, you can see it at iotxplorer.io. At the moment, the Block Explorer is currently under some renovation. So it was working for the testnet, but between the testnet and mainnet, there's now a lot of changes week by week. So presently, there's no blockchain data being displayed because we're going to wait for mainnet for the code base to be a bit more stable, and we can change the way the API calls work, because between testnet and mainnet, a lot is changing. But for now, you can see kind of the skeleton there. You can see what it's going to look like. And we also have our delegate promotional tools on that website. So in addition to the Block Explorer, I've already started building out a resources section, which includes a dashboard and an education page. And the education page is really something that I wanted to have for the community as one of the 4 core values that I have for IoT Explorer. And this page kind of has 3 sections so far: understanding IoTeX, voting and delegating, and using the testnet. And so this is really going to be an open source tool for people to come and kind of have a first port of call to learn about IoTeX. As soon as they hear about it, they can visit this website, get a good overview, understand the use cases, how to vote, how to use the testnet, and things like that.
That's great. So it sounds like a great resource for the community to not only learn about the technical side of things, but also the voting side of things. What are some other plans you have to engage with the IoTeX community?
Yeah, so in addition to the education page, we have the dashboard. So this would mostly be interfacing with our voters. It's a place where they can come and see at a glance our metrics. They'll have our productivity, our reward share. They'll be able to search their address and find out how much rewards they should be getting for this epoch. Um, and yeah, it'll just be a good place for our supporters. And for the wider IoTeX community, we plan to have a lot of outreach, because, as I said, community is kind of my priority for IoTeX Explorer. Um, so we plan to have a lot of things which we've already detailed in our introductory articles, such as grants for decentralized app development, um, more articles, more education pieces, be it videos or articles, things like developer bounties, content bounties, um, a lot of different things which I think will be able to add value to the network. Eventually, I want to be able to give scholarships and grants to people who are going to be doing sort of IoT or IoTeX related things in their PhDs or studies, that we can bring back into the network and use to drive the technology forward as well.
That's great. It sounds like you have a really comprehensive plan, and we look forward to seeing all the steps kind of play out. So how can people learn more about IoT Explorer?
People can learn more about us, first of all, via Twitter, which is twitter.com/IoT Explorer. and of course our Medium blog, where I will be trying to post as regularly as possible, just have sort of monthly or weekly updates on what we're doing, and also our Telegram channel, which you can visit and just come and have a chat with us and yeah, get to know the community.
That sounds great. Yeah. Any final thoughts for the community?
Final thoughts are just, well, thank you first of all. We're really, really happy to be 22nd at the moment with over 12 million votes, which is just a really, really good result so far. We've had a great community turnout, and just to continue supporting us and continue to add value to the network.
Great. So that was Jason James, better known as Kits by his Telegram handle. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining, and everyone go vote for IoT Explorer.
Thanks, Larry.